You're on a date with the horniest woman in the world. You get $1 million if you say something that makes them not want sex from you. What do you say? I can see the house we would live in and our 3 perfect children. I use this software to show what they would look like. What kind of dog would we have? I'm thinking Chihuahua. They're so cute and we could get like 10 of them. I love cats too, so definitely a bunch of cats. I always want to be close to you, so I'm thinking a twin bed would be perfect for us to snuggle every night. Oh, and I get such cold feet. I could just tuck them up under your kibbles and bits to get warm. And then what about my mom? We'll definitely need a room for her. Did I mention she's a true follower of Christ, so we definitely can't get cable? Text me the list of who you want as groomsmen. I figured out which ring I want and it's only $50,000. Can our parents come on the honeymoon? Also, sports are not my thing, so no sports watching in the house. Also, ask your boss if you can work from home from now on. I want to see your face every second of the day. And you tell Mr. Bossman that it's time for a raise. Actually, I found his email on your company's website, so I'll just email him myself. I should tell you about my ex sometime, but he's not due out of prison for at least 5 years and he doesn't know he's my ex yet. We'll go on visiting day together to tell him the good news. I think they've totally rehabilitated him and he's not ever going to try to kill anyone again. Can you afford a G-Wagon? That's the car I want. It can be part of your engagement present to me. Ugh. What am I forgetting? Wait, what do you want for your appetizer? Let's share. I want you to suck wing sauce off my fingers and then slow dance with me. I know it's just the chilies, but that would be the most romantic thing ever. Honestly, this might be a two-way street. A lot of people hate listening to things they aren't interested in. Unfortunately, I'm not that type of person. Learning something new is like a static charge to my brain that I can't get enough of. My husband usually has to fight me off when he talks about anything he's remotely passionate about, whether it's his tick method in old-school RuneScape, the history behind a certain coin, or the value of Magic the Gathering playing cards. I absolutely love it when someone shares their knowledge of something they find interesting. Turning off a girl is easy. The horny dude, you may actually have to come to the date with hairy pits, a dick, and tell him you're turned on by guys that lick your hairy pits. You also want to have a kid like yesterday. Even then, there are some men that may still go for it. Girls have the capacity to be horny and desperate, but I think men have a different bar for desperation at times. This is coming from a guy. Well, I'd be giving them a 14-hour lecture on why the Supra Mk4 and Nissan R34 is overrated, and on top of that I'll show them my book on why I hate those cars so much and showcasing different engines that are better than 2JZ and the RB26. After all of that, I will give another lecture on why Mojang should add a flintlock pistol and functional cannon and why they add to this fantasy of Minecraft. It's not what I say, but how I say it. Do the energy vampire thing from What We Do in the Shadows in a monotone, unequal manner, describe a very mundane thing and its history, or literally just say obvious things about it. Try to stretch this for as long as possible. If this becomes difficult, segue into other boring and obvious things. The trick is to sound like you're very interested in only talking about these things and nothing else, barely acknowledging that the other person exists, while also assuming they do or do not share knowledge or enthusiasm, yet maintaining a very steady monotone voice. However, you also want to do this in a way that shows that a written version would have no paragraph breaks. It's just non-stop droning that should put people to sleep but just doesn't let them somehow. If they do, it's a micro nap where they can't even be sure they did sleep. This will be aided by the monotone voice that will make it very difficult to tell if they missed anything. You just keep droning on and on and on, and they either leave or they continue to listen out of some sense of obligation. Never quite off-put to get aggravated, but too nice to just stop what's happening, with just the right amount of attention to allow them to feel engaged, yet also little enough consideration that they never quite find a natural point to turn the conversation or interject. If they do manage to get a word in edgewise, you can simply continue off what they said and steer it right back to the monotone. This is a sneaky way to let them feel like some kind of progress is being made but keeps them from actually engaging. They'll continually wonder if they are actually conversing or if they've just been listening to you talk. They'll be present enough to remember that they've conversed but too bored to understand that the conversation hasn't really been a conversation and has been going on for far too long. This will grow especially well if you can find a way to keep them from checking the time, but if they do check the time you can pretend to politely remark on it in a way that seems like you are genuinely curious but mildly guilts them for checking the time when all you've done is try to talk to them. You can also return to old topics and make lame jokes about coming full circle. Bonus points can be had if you seem to return to things they've talked about because they'll feel even more obligated to give you a fair chance because you've been listening to them. So walking out on you would be rude. Once this has been going on long enough they'll be caught in an endless circle of trying to find a way out without seeming rude and reminding themselves that it would be cruel to simply walk out on you when you're simply engaging them in conversation. You can even get the waiter involved briefly to add on more guilt by seeming somewhat interesting to them. But because the interaction will be brief they won't feel as bored, so the other person will start questioning if maybe they're a bad person to have these thoughts and will double down on not being rude by trying to engage more. But of course you simply absorb the new comments and go off on yet another tangent inspired by them interacting with you, and this way you can add a fresh layer of entrapment on them. It'll become like a coat of paint that you apply over and over again as they continue to squirm underneath this monotone torture that never ends. So anyway, that's how I won $1 million. So, basically there are 5 different cover stocks that high-end bowling balls are available with. The 3 most popular right now are all reactive resin, which actually absorb oil off of the lanes. They are solid, pearl, and hybrid, which is a blend of solid and pearl. The 4th, which is gaining popularity amongst professionals, is urethane. Urethane is strange in today's setting because it was very popular from around the 1970s until the mid to late 90s, when reactive resin was invented. Urethane doesn't absorb oil, it more just pushes it around the lane. The 5th is plastic, and it is more used for spark balls as it doesn't react to the friction at the end of the oil pattern like reactive resin or urethane. For the cores, there are 2 main types: symmetrical and asymmetrical. Symmetrical cores will have a smoother motion towards the pins, due to the fact that they generally carry less energy down lane as compared to asymmetrical cores. Asymmetrical cores carry a lot of energy down lane, and tend to release that energy in a burst as the ball sees friction. The combination of different cores and cover stocks is what builds the vast array of equipment available on today's market. One of my personal favorite combinations is a solid cover with a symmetrical core. The solid cover reads the front of the lane quickly, and the symmetrical core generates a smooth arc towards the pins, depending on how the ball is drilled. Another example of a core combination is a pearl cover with an asymmetrical core. The pearl over will read the oil further down lane, and the asymmetrical core will store its energy until it sees friction, then release that energy quickly towards the pins. This is also known as a skid flip motion down lane. For me, that ball motion is unpredictable and I have a hard time controlling it. If you are serious about bowling, I highly recommend going down to your local bowling alley that regularly has competitive leagues and tournaments, as they more than likely have a pro shop that sells various high-end bowling balls. They will be able to fit you into a ball that suits your game perfectly, and they can help you build an arsenal to combat any kind of lane condition. Raid Shadow Legends is an immersive online experience with everything you'd expect from a brand new RPG title. It's got an amazing storyline, awesome 3D graphics, giant boss fights, PvP battles, and hundreds of never-before-seen champions to collect and customize. I never expected to get his level of performance out of a mobile game. Look how crazy the level of detail is on these champions. Raid Shadow Legends is getting big real fast, so you should definitely get in early. Starting now will give you a huge head start. There's also an upcoming special launch tournament with crazy prizes. And not to mention, this game is absolutely free. So go ahead and check out the video description to find out more about Raid Shadow Legends. There, You will find a link to the store page and a special code to unlock all sorts of goodies. Using the special code, you can get 50,000 silver immediately, and a free epic level champion as part of the new players program, courtesy of course of the Raid Shadow Legends devs. My ex shares the same first name with his dad. He had confided in me that when he was young he could hear his parents doing it in the next room. He would hear his mom moan his father's nickname and it makes him gag to this day. So I had used it against him whenever to get back at him or whenever I wasn't in the mood. Oh, Lonnie. Oh, Lonnie. So, I figured for the horniest person, I would do the same. Find out the name of someone they can't bear the thought of and make sex noises and moan their name. Fun times. I will just be myself. I do not recognize flirting or sexual advances of any kind, so if they do anything less than physically attacking me, I will just continue talking and talking and talking for hours about the most mundane things. I will try to get you to play games like describing superheroes in one sentence or less and then guessing which one it is. I will talk about the fall of the Carolingian Empire until you want to strangle me. I will over-explain something you probably understand repeatedly. I will talk, and talk, and talk. It will not end. It will never end. I may have to go to the bathroom, or get something to drink, but I will just go. I have been known to talk without stopping for more than 6 hours, and that wasn't even with the promise of getting paid for it. I did that for fun. Listen, guy, woman, I'll give you $100,000 if you throw that cup of water in my face. Get up, walk out, and tell anyone that asks that I was the most repulsive boss you ever met. Don't want the money, only want sex. Same thing, water, face. Walk out, boss, and in 2 weeks, I'll fuck you on your new boat if that's what you are into. But only if you think about what really turns you off and get me out of your mind. I've got $1 million riding on you chilling yourself down for a night. Communication is the key to any strong relationship. Hey, let's talk some Bloodborne lore before we start real quick. Was Lawrence wrong? You don't know him? And VM, let's start from the beginning. So who were the Thumerians? The Thumerians and their history is critical to understanding the setting of the game, for it was within their tunnels and labyrinths that the wisdom of the Great Ones was first discovered. Oh, don't worry, we'll get into the Great Ones, what they are, and what exactly their wisdom entails, as gaining insight into their incomprehensible thoughts has significant effects on the story and gameplay. So back to the Thumerians. This would continue until I had the money. I have enough Bloodborne lore to dry up any vagina. This one time in junior high I masturbated with Axe body gel and fell asleep immediately after like an idiot. When I woke up all the skin looked like a glazed donut and was extremely painful to the touch. I of course proceeded to tell nobody, and when it got bad enough when the skin started eventually cracking and bleeding over the course of days later, I just said I'd been kicked in the balls, you know, as dumb teens used to do. So eventually around 2 weeks of intense agony later the last of the skin shell peels off and it's been like baby smooth ever since, and I shit you not, I'm pretty sure bigger too. I can list every single named character from the 2017 reboot of Disney's DuckTales in alphabetical order. Akita, Aelia, Alistair, Borswan, Amunat, Baloo, Von Bruin, Ewald, 13 Beagle Boys, all of them, Bentina, Beakley, Bentley, Buzzard, Black Heron, Bombi, Boyd, Bradford, Buzzard, Bramble, Briar, Bubbid, Duck, Buford, Buzzard, Chiefs, Chip, Daisy, Duck, Dale, Della, Duck, Doofer, Duck, Donald, Duck, Don, Carnage, Doofus, Drake, Doofus's Dad, Doofus's Mom, Down, Imp, Duck, Drake, Mallard, Duckworth, Emily, Quack, Faster, Emma, Glamour, Falcon, Graves, Ferris, Jin, Fenrir, Fenton, Crack, Shell, Cabrera, Fergus, Duck, Feathery, Duck, Fisher, Flintheart, Glomgold, Future, Gabby, Mxtaberson, Gadget, Hack, Wrench, Gandra, D, Gavin, Tenderfeet, Gene, the Genie, Gibbous, Gladstone, Gander, Goldio, Gilt, Goofy, Goof, Gosselin, Waddle, Maya, Grandpappy, Beagle, Gyro, Gear, Loose, Hack, Smashnikov, Hades, Hardtack, Hattie, Harp of Morvana, Hecka, Honestus, Hubert, Duck, Isabella, Finch, Jim, Starling, John D, Rocker, Duck, Johnny, Empire, Jormon, Gander, Jose, Karaoke, June, Kid, Cloud, Keycourt, Launchpad, and Quaklina, Sabering, Llewellyn, Duck, Lyle, Bulb, Liquidator, Ludwig, Van Drake, Lunaries, Small, Beagle, Magic, Dispel, Man, Manny, the Headless Man, Horse, Maria, Antonia, Magdalena, Aldon Suka Bear Mark Beeks Matilda McDuck May Megan Volt Mally Cunningham Monterey Jack One-Eyed Linda Pankit Pistols Past Palace Peg Leg Meg Pen Umbra Pepper Phantom Blot Present Quacker Jack Randy Empire Reginald Bushroot Roxanne Feather Lisa Buff Santa Claus Scrooge McDuck Celine Smashnikov Steelbeak Stinky Boots Trickles Strongbeard Taurus Ball Buttez Yuka Toad Liu High Two-Toe Jack Ugly Mug Viral Violet Sabering WANDA Werbigail Vanderkwalk Weber Walters San Alson Zenith Zeus Zipper. Nature Man. Nature is always the answer. Did you know vultures will vomit on themselves to scare predators off? They also shed themselves to cool off, and their stomach acid is so strong they can eat maggot-infested, slimy, rotten meat with no repercussions. Wolves are neat too. They prefer the oozing organs like liver, kidneys and intestines of their prey so they can get fiber. They can't digest it themselves, you see. Of course, being a wolf isn't as cool as the furries make it seem. Somewhere along the way, seeing as they go for intestines first, the boulder gets ruptures, so rather than fresh, bloody meat they end up with piss-marinated intestines instead. Hey, did you know when bugs go after a corpse they start from the eyeballs and anus? Easy access. They'll even do it to people who are still alive if you let them. Imagine being so weak and exhausted maggots start eating your eyes out of the sockets. What a fucked up way to go. Hey, you know how llamas spit? Well, oh boy, it isn't spit. It's actually vomit. Oh, and cute little koalas, nah, they crawl down and eat their mom's liquid shit to get the necessary gut bacteria to eat eucalyptus. You know, I'm thinking the rice with mole sauce. You? According to all known laws of aviation, there is no way a bee should be able to fly. Its wings are too small to get its fat little body off the ground. The bee, of course, flies anyway because bees don't care what humans think is impossible. Yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow, black. Ooh, black and yellow. Let's shake it up a little. Barry, breakfast is ready. Oh Ming, hang on a second. Hello, Barry, Adam. Oh, and you believe this is happening? I can't. I'll pick you up. Looking sharp. Use the stairs. Your father paid good money for those. Sorry, I'm excited. Here's the graduate. We're very proud of you. Son, a perfect report card. All B's. Very proud. Ma, I got a thing going here. You got lint on your fuzz. Oh, that's me. Wave to us. We'll be in row 118,000. Bye, Barry. I told you. Stop flying in the house. Hey, Adam. Hey, Barry. Is that fuzz gel? A little special day. Graduation. Never thought I'd make it. 3 days grade school. 3 days high school. Those were awkward. 3 days college. I'm glad I took a day and hitchhiked around the hive. You did come back different. Hi, Barry. Artie. Growing a mustache. Looks good. Hear about Frankie? Yeah. You going to the funeral? No. I'm not going. Everybody knows. Sting someone. You die. Don't waste it on a squirrel. Such a hothead. I guess he could have just gotten out of the way. I love this incorporating an amusement park into our day. That's why we don't need vacations. Boy, quite a bit of pomp. Under the circumstances, well, Adam, today we are men. We are B-men. Amen. Hallelujah. Students, faculty, distinguished B's, please welcome Dean Buswell. Welcome, new Hive-OID graduating class of ... 9:15. That concludes our ceremonies and begins your career at Honix Industries. Will we pick our job today? I heard it's just orientation. Heads up, here we go. Keep your hands and antennas inside the tram at all times. Wonder what it'll be like. A little scary. Welcome to Honix, a division of Honesco and a part of the Hexagon Group. This is it. Wow, wow. We know that you, as a bee, have worked your whole life to get to the point where you can work for your whole life. Honey begins when our valiant pollen jocks bring the nectar to the hive. Our top secret formula is automatically color-corrected, scent-adjusted and bubble-contoured into this soothing sweet syrup with its distinctive golden glow you know as honey. That girl was hot. She's my cousin. She is? Yes, we're all cousins. Right, you're right. At Honix, We constantly strive to improve every aspect of bee existence. These bees are stress testing a new helmet technology. What do you think he makes? Not enough. Here we have our latest advancement. The Krellman. What does that do? Ouch, is that little strand of honey that hangs after you pour it. Saves us millions. Oh, and anyone work on the Krellman? Of course, most bee jobs are small ones, but bees know that every small job, if it's done well, means a lot. But choose carefully because you'll stay in the job you pick for the rest of your life. The same job the rest of your life? I didn't know that. What's the difference? You'll be happy to know that bees, as a species, haven't had one day off in 27 million years, so you'll just work us to death. We'll sure try. Wow, that blew my mind. What's the difference? How can you say that? One job forever? That's an insane choice to have to make. I'm relieved. Now we only have to make one decision in life. But, Adam, how could they never have told us that? Why would you question anything? We're bees. We're the most perfectly functioning society on Earth. You ever think maybe things work a little too well here? Like what? Give me one example. I don't know, but you know what I'm talking about. Please clear the gate. Royal Nectar Force on approach. Wait a second. Hack it out. Hey, those are pollen jocks. Wow, I've never seen them this close. They know what it's like outside the hive. Yeah, but some don't come back. Hey, jocks. Hi, jocks. You guys did great. You're monsters. You're sky freaks. I love it. I love it. I wonder where they were. I don't know. Their days not planned. Outside the hive, flying who knows where, doing who knows what. You can't just decide to be a pollen jock. You have to be bred for that. Right. Look, that's